This is WWE Off The Script. This is part number 2. I got news on Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns leading into WrestleMania 31. What is the idea? What are the plans? I'll tell you in a little bit. Also, 4 confirmed matches for this year's Summerslam extravaganza out in Los Angeles at the Staples Center. What are they? What are my opinions on the top 4 matches this year? I'll tell you in a second. This is Off The Script number 20, your number 1 source for WWE right here on YouTube.com. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. What is going on, guys? JD from New York here. This is WWE Off The Script. This is number 20, part number 2 for your week ending July 6th, 2014. If you guys missed yesterday's video because of the holiday, the 4th of July holiday, hope you guys had a happy and safe one. Links are down below in the description. Go and check that out. I got big news on why John Cena is now the new cover boy for WWE 2K15. He actually beat out Daniel Bryan. I got big news on that and why he is now the cover boy for WWE 2K14. I also got news on why the WWE wants to make John Cena the greatest WWE champion of all time. I know you guys are probably rolling your eyes at that one. I know it's not true, but this is the WWE's logic. So go check that out, part 1, in the description below if you did indeed miss yesterday's video. Number 2, I hope you guys had a happy and safe holiday if you did indeed celebrate it. I didn't do too much. Hurricane Arthur here kind of, ruined the day. Today and tomorrow are going to be absolutely beautiful, but it was a lot of rain, a lot of wind, a lot of cloudiness. So the grilling didn't take place yesterday. That's going to be taking place today. I'm going to go over to my friend John's house with my brother, girlfriend, a bunch of friends. We're just going to grill. I got some meatballs and some hamburgers I got to prepare for later. We're going to be jamming out on the guitar. We're going to be playing beer pong. It's going to be a nice, relaxing afternoon. So I want to get this video out to you guys before I actually go hang out and just chill out for the rest of the day. I know it's coming at you a little bit late, but for the 4th of July, I was hanging out with a few of my other friends yesterday. Spent the night over at my girlfriend's house, so I apologize for the lateness on this, but it is coming out to you, so don't worry about that. Like I said, part 1 is in the description. Chairshot Reality at WrestleZone.com. As always, for your 4th of July, JD and WrestleZone.com, Chairshot Reality, the best tag team on the internet right now. Go check those guys out. I don't know what they're talking about. I didn't get to watch yesterday's video because of what I was doing yesterday. But I'm sure they got something planned for the 4th of July weekend, so go check out them. Labar, Eisenberg, and Ghoulish, as always, their homepage is linked down below. Go check those guys out. Now, what I have in store for you guys today, part 2, Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, and WrestleMania 31. Also, Night of Champions plans. What does the WWE got planned for Night of Champions? Now, there continues to be talk that Brock Lesnar will take the WWE World Heavyweight Championship from John Cena this summer and build to a Lesnar versus Roman Reigns match for WrestleMania 31. This would be Reigns' big WrestleMania moment and coronation as the new top babyface. There is also no confirmation that Lesnar is booked to defeat Cena at SummerSlam, but word is that the pay-per-view is going to be big, and September's Night of Champions pay-per-view will just be as big as SummerSlam to help with the WWE Network renewals. As noted before, Lesnar will be working Night of Champions. Now, one thing I want to dissect from this news article that I just read to you, there is no confirmation that Lesnar is booked to defeat John Cena at SummerSlam this year. Now, WWE is going to report that. Whoever is leaking this information, whoever, is reporting this, obviously is not going to be leaking that information. We know as fans, if you got any type of brain in your head, that it makes sense for Brock Lesnar to win his return match against John Cena. Brock Lesnar will not be in the ring as an active competitor until the night he steps face-to-face with John Cena. He's not going to be in the ring. Okay, he's not going to be wrestling on Raw. He's not going to be wrestling on SmackDown. He's not going to be wrestling on the network. He's going to be back after Battleground. He's going to be challenging John Cena. Okay, I got news on Triple H's Plan B and what that really is. I don't know if it's in this this part or tomorrow's part, but I even said it on Twitter when Triple H announced it on Monday Night Raw. There's always a Plan B. Plan B in this situation is Brock Lesnar. John Cena is going to overcome the Fatal 4-Way against Roman Reigns, against Randy Orton, and against Kane. Okay? John Cena is going to overcome that. He's not going to lose in a Fatal 4-Way at Battleground after just winning the WWE Championship. Brock Lesnar is going to come out after Battleground, and that's Triple H's Plan B. B for Brock. B for Brock, and Brock is coming back simply because it's logic. How many times I got to tell this to you guys? He beat The Undertaker. He beat The Undertaker. He conquered the streak. He left The Undertaker laying in the middle of the ring, incapacitated at WrestleMania. Okay? Now that he's got that, that by default makes him the most important man in the company. You know, you're not going to beat The Undertaker and not get your reward for it. With beating The Undertaker comes the riches, the gold. And that gold is the WWE Championship. Now, John Cena is going to drop the title to Brock Lesnar. That's no question in my mind. John Cena needs to lose clean. And there needs to be no interference at all. Brock Lesnar needs to look dominating. It should be a one-on-one match with two bulls. John Cena, your face of the company, against Brock Lesnar, the most hated man in the industry right now for doing what he did to The Undertaker. He's supposed to be a hated heel. Okay? Everyone's going to be cheering for Brock Lesnar because nobody likes John Cena as the champion. We understand this. But Brock Lesnar will be the champion. He needs to be booked clean over John Cena. Okay? Lesnar will be champ. Roman Reigns, listen, I'm going to tell you guys flat out my honest opinion right now. I've said this before in the past. I like the way the WWE is booking Reigns. They're making him appear important. They're making him feel important. He's got the look. I like his new outfit, though it looks very similar to what he did in The Shield. Just a little tweak to the outfit, a little tweak to the music. He needs to expand his moveset just a little bit. Okay, I don't want him to become just another run-of-the-mill, top-of-the-card babyface that's got fucking two moves, and you know, the women are cheering for him because he's hot. I don't want that as a WWE champion. This is why I respected Daniel Bryan so much. Daniel Bryan's not hot. Daniel Bryan's not good to look at. Though he's fucking awesome. You know, no homo. Okay, no homo. But Daniel Bryan personified what a WWE champion should be. Take care of it in the ring, leave it in the ring, that's it. He proved to you why he's the WWE champion. He proved to you why he should be at the top of the card. Roman Reigns right now, and I know we have from now until WrestleMania, I'm sure Roman Reigns can prove to us and the world over what he's worth. But right now, he doesn't prove to me. He hasn't shown me anything why he should be in a match with Brock Lesnar if that's the rumor, if that's the case. You know, I could be eating my words come Royal Rumble. But Roman Reigns right now hasn't shown me anything. And I don't think he deserves to be even mentioned in the same sentence as Brock Lesnar, as a John Cena, or as the WWE champion. Shouldn't even be mentioned. That's the way the WWE is going, though. Now, a lot of you guys don't like Roman Reigns. You know, you're starting to hate on Roman Reigns simply because of how he's being booked, and it's predictable, right? He's going to become the next John Cena, whatever. Predictable booking, there's nothing wrong with predictable booking, okay? It may be predictable, but we're here as fans to watch what transpires in the ring. How the WWE gets from that predictable booking scenario to the ending. That's why we watch. We watch because of what happens in the ring. The storylines and everything else comes second. Yes, it's important. Yes, you need to have storylines that make sense and that are logical. But for you guys to be complaining about, predictable booking, if it's predictable and logical, and it makes sense down to the very last fucking period on that script, I'm all for it. There's nothing wrong with it. Was it predictable when Steve Austin and Shawn Michaels fought in the main event at WrestleMania 14? Was it predictable that Steve Austin going into that match we all knew was going to win that WWF Championship? Was it predictable that we knew HBK was going to be out for several years with a bad back problem which was suffered in his feud with The Undertaker? Was it predictable then? Did you guys have a problem with Steve Austin winning the title then? So what makes it a problem now that there's predictable booking as long as it makes sense? I posed that question to you guys. That's the one thing I took away from Jim Ross's podcast that made me really think, and I wanted to turn that on to you guys. Was it predictable when Steve Austin beat HBK at WrestleMania 14? You know, there's nothing wrong with predictable booking as long as it makes sense. And that's the same thing here. Lesnar versus Cena, it's predictable booking, but it makes sense. Lesnar versus Reigns at WrestleMania 31 though I may not be on board with it right now, it's predictable booking. And the one question I want to pose to you guys is, what happens to Daniel Bryan? Daniel Bryan's going to come back. Obviously, he's going to have some type of storyline where he comes back and he wants his title because, A, he was never pinned. Nobody ever took that title off of him, so he deserves a rematch. Who does he go at WrestleMania? Who does he go into WrestleMania going against? You know, there's a lot of questions with Daniel Bryan surrounding his return, if he returns. So I don't know, but predictable booking is okay as long as it's logical. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's the whole point of my ranting here. Okay, so leave it at that. Lesnar, Reigns, WrestleMania 31, that's where the WWE are right now. That's their mindset going into next year. Which also means Reigns will probably win the Royal Rumble. Again, predictable, but we'll worry about that when the time comes. There were a lot of people within WWE surprised about the firing of Emma in comparison to other talents that didn't get released when their offenses were far worse, which I mentioned this on Twitter. Regarding WWE bringing her back so quickly, apparently the legal troubles of Jack Swagger and Cameron were brought up and how neither were fired. WWE faced a lot of criticism amongst the fans for her release, and that could have influenced their decision. So I know someone kind of pulled the trigger on this a little bit early. Someone has, I don't know, some type of agenda in WWE. You know, they're too quick to fire. Oh my God, they gave us a bad name. They slandered our name in the public. They're giving us bad news. We don't need any more bad news surrounding us. So they figured, let's cut her. Let's put her away. Goodbye. She's done. Fired. Now, Emma, I don't know the whole story behind it. I'm hearing several people say that she stole an iPod case or an iPhone case for $21. I'm hearing another story that she didn't realize that it was in her cart as she rolled out of the store. It is what it is. A lot of people, giving you mixed reports here. But as for firing Emma, listen, Emma is talented. Emma is a decent wrestler, a decent diva, okay? As for her career going forward, I don't think it's going to materialize into anything else anytime soon anyway. Especially if you have this kind of negative energy surrounding you now. I don't see Emma being in a meaningful diva feud or challenging for the Divas Championship for quite some time. But I did mention this on Twitter that Emma, was caught shoplifting. And Jack Swagger was caught with weed and alcohol and was given DUIs reportedly on more than one occasion, and he was never fired. And he's in a semi-decent program with Rusev, getting him over as a babyface. I don't know what Cameron did. If you guys know what Cameron did, let me know down in the comments. I really don't recall what she did. But Emma, I'm glad she's rehired. I'm glad she's brought back. That was a little bit too swift, too quick of a decision. She could be utilized and make the Divas division right now, which is suffering. I don't know why you would get rid of a top talent like that or a decent talent like that. But I hope all goes well for Emma. My thoughts and my well wishes are with her. I hope she ends up being okay from this situation. Hope everything gets planned out correctly and just kind of sweep it under the rug. But that's what's going on right now. They brought her back because of the idea of the legal troubles that were brought up regarding Jack Swagger and Cameron, which is good because it wouldn't have been fair to Emma if she was just let go like that with no explanation at all, and she was just made the scapegoat because of her doing something wrong. I'm glad someone spoke up. They mentioned Jack Swagger's offenses in the past, and that's what made someone think. And you know what? We may have jumped the gun a little bit too fast. They brought her back, but her future is in question right now. I don't know what's going on, so if I have any other information regarding Emma and her future in the WWE, obviously I will let you know. 4 WWE main events have been revealed according to an exclusive report on SESscoops.com. As expected, Cena will defend the title against Brock Lesnar. Originally, Daniel Bryan was supposed to defend against Brock Lesnar until plans have changed when he got injured, obviously. The seeds for Brie Bella's return were planted on Raw. Stephanie McMahon will face Brie Bella at SummerSlam. Roman Reigns will face Randy Orton. Reigns, I thought, was going to go against Triple H at SummerSlam. That has been pushed back to Night of Champions. Reigns will fight Randy Orton. Chris Jericho, obviously, will go against Bray Wyatt. Now, if you guys want to fantasy book this, Rollins versus Ambrose. You could have the Ascension brought up and challenge the Usos for the Tag Team Championship. Cody Rhodes versus Goldust. Brother versus brother. I don't know. You could probably book Sheamus versus Rusev for the United States Championship. WWE, and I've said this before in the past, has the opportunity to make this one of the biggest events in recent memory. The biggest SummerSlam of all time. They got the cards right in front of them. WWE just needs to carefully place the pieces to the puzzle where they belong, and WWE has an amazing event planned for the WWE Network. If that doesn't get people to subscribe to the network, I don't know what will. But those are your top 4 matches right now. Can't say that I complain. I'm going to complain about them. I like what I'm hearing right now. SummerSlam, like I said, could be the biggest of all time if the WWE plays their cards correctly. On Raw this week, Triple H referenced Plan B for John Cena. This is in the news report. I just mentioned this in my opening story for this week. If he walks away as the WWE Champion at Battleground, okay? The idea is to have people think that Plan B is Seth Rollins cashing in his briefcase. Actually, what Plan B is Brock Lesnar, okay? The storyline will be that John Cena retains the title. Triple H brings Brock back to challenge him for the WWE Championship at SummerSlam, okay? Logical booking. Yes, predictable, but it's logical. Bully Ray appeared on Opie and Anthony, which now is just going to be called Opie, I guess, because Anthony was fired for what he recently said on Twitter regarding black people, and I will not mention any type of discrimination or racism on this show. He was fired for some stupid fucking comments, and that's that. So I'm not here to talk about Opie and Anthony. I'm here to talk about what Bully Ray said on Opie and Anthony. He was there to promote TNA's tapings in New York City and said he will return to the WWE in a heartbeat if Vince McMahon called him. Well, Bully Ray, I would welcome you with open arms. I really would. I enjoy the Bully Ray character. I would love to see him and Devon back in the WWE at some point in the near future. But if Vince doesn't call, then I guess it won't be happening. But I would love to see Bully Ray in the WWE. It's looking more and more like Roman Reigns versus Triple H will not happen at SummerSlam. In addition to Reigns versus Randy Orton being reportedly scheduled for SummerSlam, Night of Champions or Hell in a Cell appears to be a better timetable for Reigns versus Triple H, as the match will be part of Reigns' big push towards WrestleMania 31. News on Chris Jericho. We got Chris Jericho's new deal finalized just a few days ago. This could be something, or this could have been something planned for them for Battleground, but between him and Wyatt, but they are definitely going to be wrestling each other at SummerSlam in August. WWE and Jericho had been talking for some time, and it was always a question of right time and right program for Jericho to agree to return. Jericho likes working with young guys that have a future. Jericho said that he does have a battle plan with this feud with Bray Wyatt, so that makes me excited, because when Jericho wants something planned and has something in mind, you know it's going to be great, okay? If he didn't, he would not be back with the company. Chris Jericho will be with the company at least through September Night of Champions pay-per-view in Nashville, Tennessee. So this will not be a short run with the company. He may stay longer than September, though. All depends on how he holds up physically and his schedule with Fozzy. Jericho was on Twitter trying to swerve fans into thinking that he was home with his family in an effort to keep his return a surprise on Monday night. Jericho mentioned in his latest Talk is Jericho podcast that Vince McMahon, Triple H, Stephanie, and others said how they loved his segment with The Miz and the Wyatt family on Raw. Jericho said that he had lots of cool stuff coming this summer. And Jericho, I believe, is penciled in on Monday Night Raw to go one-on-one with The Miz. So look forward to that. If it doesn't happen at Monday Night Raw, I think it should happen at Battleground. Going into Money in the Bank this past week, one of the key topics within WWE was the direction of feuds going into Battleground and SummerSlam. WWE is short on top babyfaces, which is one of the reasons why the company hasn't turned Sheamus and why Chris Jericho was brought back. Brock Lesnar is coming back soon, but obviously as a top heel. There is some concern that Bray Wyatt is getting lost in the shuffle, and they are focused on getting him into a new feud with Jericho while keeping his momentum. Of course, there is lots of concern that Daniel Bryan's momentum has been lost as well. Going into the pay-per-view, WWE was banking on the traditional Money in the Bank ladder match to be a show saver, and so far we've seen fans praise the match more than any other on the card. Number one, the Money in the Bank contract ladder match was the match of the night. Number two, Bryan's momentum is not going to be lost. He's going to come back bigger and better than ever. The WWE wants to continue to say Bryan's momentum is lost. It's only their fault because they're not trying to keep the momentum alive. Okay? There is a lack of top baby faces. I enjoy Chris Jericho more as a heel, but right now it's his time to be back as a baby face. Sheamus, I don't mind being a face as long as he's playing the Sheamus I see now. As long as he's serious and kicking ass, I don't care what Sheamus is playing because that's the role he plays perfectly. And a feud with Rusev, I do believe, should be in the cards for SummerSlam. But Lesnar, as always, going to be coming back as the top heel. And listen, WWE is short on top baby faces because they refuse to build new stars, which right now they're in the process of doing. But you know, right now it's what 2 or 3 weeks now that they've been on the program. Meanwhile, they had so many opportunities to build new stars in the past, and they failed in doing so. Vince McMahon, finally guys, to end this part, Vince McMahon has reportedly ordered more major cuts for the WWE. Apparently the cutbacks are working as WWE's losses for this year won't nearly be as large as they were expecting just a month ago. The latest number going around is into 8 figures. There continues to be a lot of fear within WWE that there are major cuts coming besides the talents and some production cuts that have already been done. As noted, the cuts are a result of the WWE's new TV deal being announced and the increase in fees coming in much lower than WWE officials expected. So there are more cuts coming. I mentioned NXT is going to have cuts coming down to their roster. WWE's cutting back on a lot of travel stuff and pyro and the way props get shipped to the arenas. A lot of things they're cutting here and there. It's saving them a lot of money. So as long as Vince McMahon's doing what he's got to do, I'm on board with it. Whatever. Part 3, guys. In Part 3, I will have news on Vince McMahon's current idea for the Ascension and Charlotte, Ric Flair's daughter. So don't miss that. I also got news on WWE and The Rock. Will the WWE actually be able to afford The Rock for WrestleMania 31? I got news on AJ Lee as well and Paige and that whole scenario regarding the Divas Championship. All that plus more in Part 3, guys. I will see you tomorrow after 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for Part 3 Off the Script number 20. Your number one source for WWE content right here on YouTube.com. Take care, and I'll see you guys on Sunday.